Hello everyone, it is Jayden and welcome to The Alpha, the show where we talk about the hottest topics in pop culture and sports. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button on the video, and if you enjoy my commentary and myself truly as always, be sure to tap that subscribe button and to hit that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya. Jaxson Dart is going to be our very first topic of today. This is a guy that I have fell in love with over the last year. I got to be able to watch him at Ole Miss, and there was a lot to like. SEC quarterback, Lane Kiffin as the head coach there, been in the NFL. He knows how to be an offensive coordinator, be the quarterback coach, and be able to develop quarterback play. And going into the draft, when I found out that the New York Giants were going to be the team to take Jaxson Dart, obviously being in my division, I wasn't scared or anything, but I was like, he could be pretty good in a couple of years, given if he gets the right, correct development under a coach like Brian Daboll, who didn't elevate Josh Allen to the MVP caliber player that he is, because Brian Daboll has not been there for the past 3 years, but he was the one who helped develop, essentially, Josh Allen to the quarterback that he is today. So he gets a type of quarterback like Jaxson Dart in his hands. I didn't, and obviously nobody did. If they did, they were just lying. Nobody had high expectations for Jaxson Dart going into the preseason because we didn't know what we were going to get. Obviously in the SEC, he played good, but it was most of a mixed bag. Threw for over 4,000 yards, a lot of touchdowns, interceptions here and there. He wasn't really good at taking care of the ball. Had some big losses, specifically one against Kentucky. But Jaxson Dart has shockingly looked like one of the best quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks right now in the preseason. He has played better than what majority of analysts have thought. Obviously, he thought he was going to play this good, but I essentially think that the New York Giants front office and whole coaching staff has thought that Jaxson Dart has played above expectations. The expectations for a quarterback like Jaxson Dart is to be okay, mediocre, have some misfires with throws here or there, maybe even turn the ball over. But Jaxson Dart has done none of that. As you can see below in the lower third, on my lower third with the stats, in the past 2 games, Jaxson Dart is 26 of 35, 320 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. That is the type of stat line that Jaxson Dart has put up in a New York Giants uniform. I watched Jaxson Dart in his debut with the Buffalo Bills. I didn't get to watch him live this past weekend because I was watching the Dallas Cowboys. Go figure. But I went back and watched the tape. He just looks absolutely poised. He looks poised. And I looked at his tape from this weekend against the New York Jets, and then I looked at his tape again against the Bills. It's something that I have seen with Jaxson Dart is specifically that Brian Daboll is calling quarterback-friendly plays. He is setting Jaxson Dart up by establishing the run game early, throwing a lot of screen passes, and everything's been pretty much short yardage. I think Jaxson Dart's really threw probably 2 balls past 20 yards maybe. But overall, just setting the quarterback up for success. You cannot go wrong with it when it comes to Brian Daboll. But something else that is a great trait that Jaxson Dart has exhibited early on is a trait that you want to see in your young quarterback. He's getting the ball out very early. He's getting his primary read. He's reading the field well, and he is darting, no pun intended, the ball to his primary receiver. Now, in most of his completions so far, I really have not seen a play where Jaxson Dart has really went through his progressions. All 4 primary read wasn't there. Where's his secondary read? I have not seen a lot of that a lot of that in his film so far, so maybe it's something that I would be interested to see going into his last preseason game, because we know that he is going to be starting more than likely in this last preseason game. I don't see a situation where they're going to start Russell Wilson because it's the last week. Russell Wilson's already the starter. You've seen what you got from Russell Wilson. Let's just get Jaxson Dart as many reps as possible. So I think that's going to be Jaxson Dart's starting spot going into the last week of preseason. But it's something that I would want to look for. I have not seen Jaxson Dart specifically go through his reads. But and the counter argument to that is, I know I'm giving myself my own counter argument to my argument, is he hasn't had to do that because he has seen the field so well in regards to his primary read, because once his primary read is there, it's open, and he's getting the ball there. He's getting the ball out there quick in his primary read before a defender has the chance to cover up his primary read. So you can say that Jaxson Dart is doing his job by getting the ball out early in a timely manner, because we know the quarterback position is all about timing. Timing with your receiver and timing overall within your wide receiver quarterback duo. So overall, Jaxson Dart has looked like he could potentially have the argument to be the quarterback one at some point in the middle of the NFL season, because in my opinion, and I'm sure the Giants front office has this opinion, he has exceeded expectations, and he has more than likely surprised people in the way that he has been able to command the quarterback position so early on. Now, the number one argument and the number one question, lastly, should Jaxson Dart start? Let's answer this question for as of right now. I don't think he should, because give kudos and credit to where credit is due. Russell Wilson has looked pretty good this preseason as well. We don't want to forget the absolute moon ball that he just threw against the Jets the other night. That 80-yard pass, and I think it carried 60 yards in the air, 80-yard touchdown pass. Or I don't even know if it was a touchdown. I think he was stopped at the 1-yard line. I can't quite remember. But anyways, it was an 80-yard pass altogether. Russell Wilson still has the arm strength and capabilities to be a starting quarterback in this league. And I don't think for right now it's not the smart move, because I'm going to go back to this argument that I make all the time when referring to when to start these young quarterbacks. The best quarterback that we've seen since Tom Brady, and one who is in the conversation to be the greatest quarterback of all time, Patrick Mahomes. What did he do his rookie year? He sat out a whole year under Alex Smith. He got time with Andy Reid, learning the position under Andy Reid, learning it under a veteran like Alex Smith, and we saw what Patrick Mahomes ended up being the quarterback that he is now. Why would you start Jaxson Dart now? We all know the Jets' offensive line at the moment, currently constructed, not the best. You do not want to put your quarterback under that type of situation. We've seen it with Caleb Williams, and that has been a focal point for the Chicago Bears this offseason, is to beef up that offensive line, and we will get to Caleb Williams later on in our next topic. But number one, the offensive line is not the best. We're playing the long term. He was your first-round draft pick, 26th overall pick. So far, he looks so good. Why just go ahead and throw him out there when we could just sit him on the bench, let him continue to learn more things about the position at the NFL level, and he could be super elite come next year. Number three, you have Russell Wilson. Obviously, he went 6 of 6 losses and 6 wins his last 12 games in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform last year. He had his moments. There was a lot of good, and there was a lot of bad. But one can argue it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Arthur Smith is a pretty decent coach, but we can say altogether that that Steelers defense, and historically the Steelers offense, Sorry, I didn't mean to say defense. The Steelers offense, the last, since Ben Roethlisberger was the quarterback and they went to the playoffs and got exited in the first round, and the offense wasn't even good then, the Steelers offense hasn't been good in 6+ years. So with Russell Wilson, given what we saw in the preseason so far with him throwing that moon ball outside of the bad interception that he had in the back corner of the end zone, there was a miscommunication issue going on there with the wide receiver. But Russell Wilson still looks like he's good enough to command the quarterback one spot for any team that doesn't have its franchise starting quarterback at the moment. The Giants do not have their franchise starting quarterback at the moment. As good as Jaxson Dart has played, does he have the capability to be the franchise starting quarterback at some point? He does. But I am always one and in favor of the Andy Reid approach. Let the rookie sit. Let him learn under Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, right now, if he were to retire today, is a current fringe, very fringe, but I think he would ultimately get in Hall of Famer. He has won a Super Bowl. He should have won 2 if his coach would have decided to run the football with Marshawn Lynch instead of want to throw a slant pass and let Malcolm Butler make one of the most historic plays in NFL history. But that's another topic for another day. So why not let him learn under a quarterback like Russell Wilson? Because from what I've learned with Russell Wilson, he's one of these guys. He's a classy guy, and I think he would have no problem, given where he knows he's at in the stage of his career. Russell Wilson is looking out the door more than he is still, in the door. So I think Russell Wilson would have absolutely no problem with having any type of mentorship role to Jaxson Dart. I think Russell Wilson would be 100% open to it. Now, should he start at all this year? I don't think so. Again, answering the question, I don't think he should start at all this year. I know at first we said, should he start week 1? No. Now, question number 2, should he start at all this year? I don't think he should. You signed Russell Wilson. He was the emergency plan just in case you didn't get a quarterback in the draft. And you planned that as such. You went into the drafts thinking that Russell Wilson was more than likely going to be your quarterback 1. Luckily, Jaxson Dart was still available. You trade up back into the first round. You get up and you get your guy. But still, Russell Wilson is very much capable to still command the quarterback position and ultimately maybe let the Giants on to a playoff run. But we know that is more than likely not going to happen because it is the New York Football Giants. Overall, shout out to Jaxson Dart. I think he's off to a great start so far in his NFL career, and I'm looking forward to his final game in the preseason. What do you guys think so far? Do you think Jaxson Dart is off to a great start? Do you think he should start week 1, even though he's not going to because the Giants have already named Russell Wilson the quarterback 1? But do you think he should start at some point in the season? I want to know all of your comments down below.